Hey Nathan, behind us is the brand new Toyota RAV4 TRD Offroad. And the question that we're going to answer in this video is, should you get this or that?
Well, let me take you over and show you what that is.
Yeah, because if you're wondering what this is, it's the highest, most off-road worthy RAV4 out there, right? It goes RAV4, RAV4 Adventure, and RAV4 TRD Offroad. And before we show them what else you could get, I had a chance to talk with the guy who is actually in charge of developing this thing for being an off-road ready RAV4. So let's do that interview first. We're standing here in front of the brand new RAV4 TRD, not Pro, right? But off-road.
Off-road package,
that's important.
That's right. It's very important.
So let's start with what this is not. It's not a rock crawler.
It is not. It is definitely not a rock crawler. So the direction of this vehicle was more what we learned from our TRD rally days with the Millen. So it's more of a high-speed rally style, light road, light gravel, type of sporty rally flavor type of vehicle.
So you're not going to be doing King of the Hammers?
Absolutely not.
Right.
So no. So this is the idea. So a customer wants to go camping, go on some of the fire roads, those type of things. If we want to do like hardcore off-road, you know, for big rocks, boulders, high-speed deserts, that's what our pros are for.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how it takes it to the next step above the Adventure, right? So you've got the regular RAV4, then you have the Adventure.
Yes.
And now you have the TRD Offroad. So tell me what you've done to make it more high-speed off-road ready.
So first thing we did is look at the suspension. So we looked at the shocks. So shocks front and rear all completely tuned for this type of high-speed driving. Basically want to minimize body control, vertical amplitude, want to have better control, so we added rebound springs internally to the shocks.
Interesting. And do any of the other TRD products have those?
Other ones do,
yeah.
But this is the first for RAV4 to have that type of technology internal on the shocks.
Okay.
So that was the first step we did, is tune the suspension of the shocks. Then we looked at the coil springs. So we increased the spring rates of front and rear, essentially to minimize overall roll and to basically change the front and rear balance a little bit, specifically for that rally style type of driving.
Okay.
The last thing we did on suspension was re-shorten the bump stops. So what that does is it helps with basically increasing compression direction wheel stroke. So if you could think about if you're going on a speed bump or whatnot, you kind of typically will hit that really hard kind of bump feel, right? So with a shorter jounce bump or a bump stop, basically you have more compression direction stroke before you get into that large impact. So that helps actually both on and off-road. Off-road is just you going on a light rocks down the trail. Basically you have a little bit more stroke before you get into that impact.
So a little bit better handling off-road, a little bit more control.
Yep.
More comfort? More
comfort too. So that was another one of our big targets, is small rock isolation. So you'll feel a little bit more improvements from a shock perspective off-road. And what that does is that then leads to basically just driver confidence when you're driving around pretty high speed.
So the things that you haven't changed, and this is important, right? There's no additional height.
Correct.
Right? Breakover angle, approach departure angles are the same.
Those remain.
Any additional underbody cladding?
Not on this model,
okay.
No.
And how about the off-road mode? I know the Adventure has an off-road mode. Does this have a different tune, or is it the same?
It's the same. So you'll see the different electronic controls exactly the same as the Adventure package. It also has the torque vectoring as well, which is really nice, especially is in a kind of high G application. You'll get some nice grip, and overall handling is improved with that type of feature.
And how about style-wise? What have you done? You can kind of point to the stuff that's different from, let's say, a regular RAV4 or RAV4 Adventure. And actually, we should really talk about the tires, right?
Yeah,
that's more aggressive.
Yeah, that's one more thing.
And wheels,
we wanted to change. So we changed the styling on the wheels. So they're flow-form wheels. So flow-form wheels, you get the benefit of a lightweight wheel and a stronger wheel. So that's one of the benefits. We changed to a matte black finish. We changed the overall style, pretty significant, and it also has the contrasting TRD center cap, right? So then to complement that, we worked with Falcon and developed these Wild Peak tires. So these are exclusive and unique just for this model. So we worked very hard with those guys, and these tires are fantastic off-road. They kind of, as I talked about some of those high-speed type of rally type driving events, this tire really helps from the side to side with the overall grip levels.
All right, and how about style-wise? Anything different on it?
So there are some elements that have been changed from a gray finish to like a black finish, and that's really just to kind of blend with the overall aesthetics of the TRD off-road package.
And how about inside? Any styling diffuse inside?
Very few.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are...
So that kind of funky color combination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in some cases, it was orange. It's a red now.
Okay.
We have the TRD headrest. And essentially, those are kind of the main key change points.
And power transmission stays the same?
It stays the same, correct.
And if you wanted to go a little wacky and do a hybrid, you do a hybrid TRD off-road?
It hasn't been requested yet, but you know, who knows? Maybe there's a demand for that. We're always thinking about ideas, right?
Yeah. So
we're always open to them.
So you said you spent a lot of time in the desert developing this.
Yes, we did.
What's kind of the aspect that you're the proudest of as a development engineer?
Yeah. So I think what I'm most proud about is the balance. So the balance of this vehicle, both on and off road. You know, we're not really getting a lot of trade-offs, and you'll find like a lot of times our focus was the off-road aspect, but even it translates back onto the road because you have some actually fantastic handling on a mountain road, a curvy section, and I think our customers will really appreciate that.
Okay. And in terms of pricing, fuel economy, not released yet?
Nope. More to come. Closer to launch time in the fall is generally when we'll release that type of information.
And would it be fair to say that this one, like the other TRD products, sits above the others? So, you know, you've got regular, you've got kind of hybrid, the sporty one, which is also unique.
Yes.
Then you've got the Adventure, and now you've got the TRD Pro.
Yeah.
TRD
in general, that's kind of the overall slot and position.
Yeah.
But like I said, those kind of details come on later on.
All right. And if I wanted to stick a rooftop tent on here, is that doable?
As long as you stay under the roof capacity, you're fine.
What is that? Is it, you know?
I don't have it memorized, so I'm sorry.
We're going off script here, huh?
Okay, yeah. Not my expertise.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for the time, and thank you for showing me your new, more off-road worthy RAV4. I mean, this is obviously now Toyota's most popular vehicle.
It is.
Yeah,
big volume last year, and we just want to continue that kind of success with this
where's
vehicle.
it made?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ontario, Canada.
Oh, cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's made in Canada.
It is.
All right,
Yeah,
nice.
it is. So yeah, we're really excited about this one, and look forward to you checking it out.
So Nathan, it's really not a rock crawler. It's more of like a desert runner. What else competes with this?
Well, we're at the Chicago Auto Show, right?
Yep.
Well, let me show you.
All right, let's go.
This is the Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. It competes directly against the Toyota TRD Offroad RAV4. Now, the reason why? Because it's off-road capable, but more than that, it is seriously off-road capable. It starts around $35,000, and it has the tools needed to do some real off-roading. So comparing this to the RAV4, well, there are things that this has that it does not have. That's including a locking rear diff, a real low range, proper skid plates, even these. 270 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That's with the new 2-liter turbo that they have. Now, there are other engines available, including a V6 and a base model 4-cylinder, but this one, well, come on, that's a lot of performance. Jeep has been kicking ass with interiors, and this is no exception. It is, in my mind, the best looking interior amongst the three. However, I gotta say this, Toyota's new interior with their new RAV4 is a massive improvement. All right, so here's your terrain management system right next to the 9-speed automatic transmission. Proper gear lever, I like it. You have this dial here, which will allow you to select snow, mud, rock, and sport before you hit it, which is awesome. And then, of course, you got a locking rear diff, 4-wheel drive low, hill descent control, and hill ascent control. One of the most important parts about going off-road if you're in a crossover is you gotta have good tires. The Jeep comes with Firestone Destination ATs, and they have a very aggressive, very grippy design.
So Nathan, you brought me here to the Honda stand, and I have to agree that this Talon is the most off-road vehicle probably here. But it's a side-by-side, right? It doesn't compete with the RAV4.
That's because what I wanted to show you is over there.
Oh, all right, well, let's head over there.
Now, behind me is the brand new Honda Passport, based on the Honda Pilot. It doesn't exactly compete. However, it is a new 4-wheel drive, somewhat off-road capable crossover. So to a certain degree, it will be cross-shopped. 280 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque coming from a 3.5 liter V6, the same one that's in the Pilot, and it's an Earth Dreams engine. It's hooked up to a 9-speed automatic transmission that unfortunately is hooked up to a push-button gear selector. The good news is this has a good 4-wheel drive system. It's really good in the snow. And I can tell you this, because it's shorter by length by over 6 inches and a little higher, it has a lot more in terms of off-road chops. The interior is very similar to the Honda Pilot. Basically, it's the same thing with minor trim changes, but you do get this slick terrain management system. It's very easy to use. You basically select snow, mud, what have you, and then you have the display pop up and you simply say enter, boom. You got yourself your off-road capability. Now personally, these standard 20-inch painted wheels are a little much, but these Continental cross-contact tires actually are half decent off-road. Steven and I have both had a chance to sample this tire. Bottom line is, they're not as chunky as I would like for real off-roading. What it all boils down to is a crazy amount of space. This is a big vehicle inside. Remember, this is basically the Pilot, but they removed the 3rd row seat. So they got all this extra storage behind you, and they got tons and tons of seat room in the 2nd row. More importantly to me, lots of shoulder room.
The thing I'm wondering, Nathan, is which one do you go for, right? I think this one's pretty straightforward. If you want the most off-road worthy RAV4 with Toyota's reputation for reliability, then you go for the new TRD Offroad. But how about the other two?
Well, if you want serious off-road ability, you go Jeep. That's just the bottom line. It has everything you need to really go off-road compared to other crossovers, right? But let's say you want more space. Let's say you want something that actually can hold a lot more stuff and just a bigger vehicle altogether, then you go to the Honda.
And the question I want to know is, which one looks best with a big rooftop tent on it?
There you go.
As always, this is Roman
and Nathan
saying thanks for watching. Remember, if you like this episode of This or That, let us know in the comments below. And remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views,
and real-world reviews.
Ciao.